Hey, this is John McCormick, and welcome back to Elite Health Products and another audio. I hope this finds you turned on, lit up, and inspired. And I wanted to just take a couple of minutes of your precious time and talk to you about the benefits of owning your own network marketing business. Now, if you're anything like me, you've spent most of your life, and you're probably still doing that, working at a day job or doing something, and hopefully you enjoy doing that or you love what you do. Though a lot of people do not these days, and there isn't a lot of security out there. So let's just take a minute and break it down, what it's like working for a living in today's world and has been for a long, long time. So if you have a career or a business, what are the options? If you're looking for a career or a business, what are the options that you have open to you and the pathways that you have open to you that you can follow to hopefully earn a good living? Though my guess is most people are not earning nearly as much as they'd like to be. So first off, you might have a product or something you're interested in developing and taking to the marketplace. So let's start with retailing. You begin with retailing and you want to open a retail shop. Well, what does that include? I know because I've tried it. In fact, I worked in retail for 6 years, many years ago. So I know exactly what's going on in retail. And if you want to open a retail shop in town, on the high street, anywhere, you're going to have to get first a lease to do it. So you're going to have to be approved for a lease. I don't know about where you are, but where we are in the UK, those leases are 5 to 10 years long. So you're tying yourself into a 5 to 10 year contract. That in itself scares me to death. Then you have overheads. So you got to get in there, you got to paint the place, do whatever you want to have it be your store or your shop. That's an expense. You have to set that up. You then have to stock the shelves. We were just currently costing how much a health food retail store would cost in our little town. And it was 50, 60,000 to stock the shelves, to open the doors, to pay the rent for a couple of months. So you got to have 50, 60,000, and if it's something bigger, then the sky's the limit. You got to have that. So you then have to either pay yourself or pay employees, which is another expense. Then the ongoing expenses, the electricity, the water, the gas, whatever it is, you got to do all that. So to run a retail business, you're tying yourself in to potentially 100,000, something like that. You might want to have to get it kicked off just so that you're set up for 3, 4, 5 months. And then, let's not forget, what about the marketing? You need to do some kind of marketing other than people walking in off the street to let the world know you're there. There's another expense. That is absolutely infinite amount of money you can, I was going to say waste because I just hate spending money on marketing. Unless you're Coca-Cola and you've got hundreds of millions, it's really difficult if you're only spending little amounts. So you've got all that marketing that you've got to do. And that to me is an ongoing expense that you got to keep coming up with. And that usually comes out of your the profit, whatever money you earn. How about online? If you're going to set up an online shop that's connected to the retail shop, you got to get someone to build all that. Another expense. You spend another 10, 15 grand, 20 grand on a great website connected to e-commerce, unless you're using one of these cheap ones. Might be a good way to start. So retailing is a heavy load if that's what you're thinking about doing. I know some people that are in the wholesaling business. That's another way of doing it, that only deal with supplying retailers, but that is exactly the same. You have to have all of that overhead. Employees insurance, there's something I didn't mention. If you got employees, you need insurance. So all of these expenses, whether it's retailing, whether it's wholesaling, are two career paths or ways of earning a living that require heavy overhead. Contracting. Now I do that even to this day. I do a little bit of contracting, which it really is consulting. So I'm at the mercy of when some company calls me up and says, oh, we'd like to hire you for a couple of weeks. This is a job, go do it. So I have to go spend my own money to get there, get back, and then build a company for it. I mean, that has been not too bad of a way to earn an income for me. I've enjoyed it, other than I don't like to travel anymore. I don't like being at the mercy of someone else having a piece of work they can throw my way. So the security in that is really bad. But to me, it's better than being an employee. So it's the best of two bad situations. The employee for me is the worst. I've never been a good employee. So there's contracting, which is not too bad at times. And then, if you're going to just go online, you could build an online business and forget about the retail. But again, you need overhead. You need products to sell. You need to warehouse something somewhere, whether it's in your bedroom or someplace, to get it up and rolling. That's going to run you less than a retail shop because you're not tied into any leases or anything like that. But believe me, because I've looked into it and invested in that in the past, it costs money to build a great online store or an online business. And then, if you're fortunate enough, you could be an investor if you're investing in shares and everything else. But that requires a skill set that if you are not well versed in it, you will get killed. I mean, I've done some amateur investing and that hasn't turned out well. So there you have it. There's a handful of ways in which you can pursue the world of business and earning an income. And, you can make a living out of any of them. I don't want to say that they're bad or anything like that. They're not. It's just the way of the world. But then I want to take a moment and look at the benefits of having a network marketing business. Now, again, I'm not talking about a quick fix. Anything you do is going to take a lot of hard work. There's no doubt. But we asked ourselves the question, Stacy and I asked ourselves the question, if we could take a minute and look at the perfect income opportunity, what would it be? Like, what would it include? And these are some of the points we came up with. Like, if we could wave our magic wand, what would be the perfect setup for us to generate an income, a good, healthy income, so that we could live on it? Well, the first thing, it would need to be home-based so that we didn't have to travel anymore, back and forth to work, to commute. I hate traveling now in my later years. It's a killer, and it's much tougher now than it used to be when I was 20 for a lot of reasons. But you're going to have to commute if you do that. So with a home-based business, we get to cut out the commute for the most part. So that was one of the things that we would require in the perfect income-generating business. The second thing is that it needed to have unlimited potential to earn as much as we wanted based on our efforts. So I love that. That's just capitalism to me. If you work hard, you can make as much as you like based on your efforts. I mean, how many of us worked really hard and never really made as much as we thought we were worth, even if we were worth more, just because of what the market determines your value as? So it has to have unlimited potential. So it's from home, it has unlimited potential, and it has very little to none when it comes to overhead expenses. Some, but very little startup costs or ongoing overhead expenses. So if you're at home, you might turn your room into an office. You've got that. So you don't have all of this expense. You don't have to purchase warehouse products. You don't have to do that. You don't have to hire employees for the most part. So you have this very low startup overhead cost. So that's the third thing. The fourth is that it must be global. You must be able to manage that business from a laptop anywhere in the world, whether you're on a beach in Hawaii or you're in the Swiss Alps. If you can get a Wi-Fi connection, you can log on and manage that. So that's another aspect, and that was one of the key ones for us, that you could travel, you could do whatever you wanted, but you could check in on that anywhere. You weren't tied down to a retail shop where every day you went in there and stood there hoping that you were going to sell your wares. So that was one of them. The other thing was that you had the potential to spread the risk of how you earned money. So instead of everything being dependent on me, so if I got sick, the money would stop. You know, if you broke your leg, you couldn't work, there goes the income unless you got great insurance. But if you could spread that risk through teams of people, networks of people where everybody was doing a little bit, if for any reason you couldn't work for a month, income would still be coming your way because you would be part of a network that was tied into your business. That to me was another crucial one, spreading the risk. It just takes it gives you a sense of safety when you can do that. 6, it was that you had to have world-class products, that a company designed and manufactured and formulated and warehoused for you so you didn't have to stock them in your home. World-class products. And the thing about network marketing is the advertising is done by word of mouth. They don't have a marketing budget per se. So all that money goes into the quality of the product. So any network marketing company you choose or you become part of that has been around for a while will have great products, because you just can't survive when you've got word of mouth marketing unless the products are great. And last but not least, it's got to be easy to learn. It's not that difficult. You just got to kind of get your head around this whole concept of networking and working with teams of people and teaching people to do what you're doing, which is a big part of networking. It's not a sales business, it's a teaching business, because everybody has to learn what networking is. So those are the 7 key things that we came up with for the perfect business. So I wanted to share that with you, and I hope that it's kind of opened your eyes a little bit, because we live in a world that is just, been around forever, doing a handful of ways of generating an income that may not serve you or give you the kind of future, whether it's a retirement, money to invest, any of that. And you know what? Time is a big thing for me. As I get older, I really want my own time to do what I want. I want to be with my kids. I want to spend it with my wife. I want to do what I want. I don't want to travel like I used to, all the rest of it. So network marketing, for me, has all of the things I need to create the kind of lifestyle that I want. So I hope this has been of some use to you. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, let me know if I can support you in any way, and we shall see you on the next one.